No Travis to start today. Richard, you want to get started with the question today?
So, Coach, the Corps-specific hat and pullover.
Yeah, breaking out a new uniform on Sunday. Ever since I came to A&M, I've kind of been enamored by the history and traditions of this place, and certainly the Corps being one of them. And we had a chance to take our team over in the fall and spend an evening going through the evening formations and different things they do. Had dinner with the Corps. Had a chance to get to know the new commandant, super impressive guy, and so we just wanted to do something to tie our program directly with the history of the Corps, you know, something fun and neat for the guys and also neat for the fans as well. So we're excited to break that out on Sunday.
What specifically about the uniforms are different, and if you have a favorite aspect of them, what are they? What is it?
I'd probably like the belt, because we're actually getting Corps belts. These aren't belts made by Adidas or by some athletic apparel company. These are actually the belts worn by the Corps with the gold insignia, I guess, or buckle you would call it. So that would be my favorite part.
And is this a one-time thing, or is it going to be a Sundays moving forward?
Certainly we'll bring it out on a military appreciation type day. We'll also see how we play in it. see how the guys like it. I'm being a little bit facetious. It would be something that we would like to break out on different occasions, but make it special.
And then as far as moving past Tuesday, how has the team reacted to that loss, and what has the vibe been like in the clubhouse as they move forward?
Yeah, I think nobody felt good about it, obviously. But at the same time, you know, when you sit down and you get away from the emotions of the game and you look at why we lost. Number one, Lamar played really well. Number two, we had a lot of good at-bats. We hit a lot of balls hard, just not enough, and they didn't fall in. And I thought we played well defensively. We pitched okay. If anything, the head coach, made a bad decision, or I wish there's certainly a few things I could do over with. But at the same time, you're also trying to learn about your team, and the only way to do that is to play the games and see what happens. So we'll move on from it, but you have to give Lamar credit. And as I said earlier today, every team now in college baseball is old. They were a junior, senior grad transfer team. Portland is a junior, senior grad transfer team. So teams don't get spooked by playing at Texas A&M or they don't get spooked by those kind of things anymore. And those days are over with, and you really have to play well to win.
Offensively, Coach, through 4 games, what do you make of your plate appearances?
Yeah, I think each individual player is different. I think there's some guys that are pressing. I think some guys like Hunter Haas have landed on some balls that they haven't fallen in. Some guys are doing well. It's just normal baseball, and as I said before the season started, the past never equals the future. So, I've been on teams that had poor offensive years the year before and have the exact same players back and do great, and I've had the opposite. TCU in 2012, we came here and won a regional, starting 5 freshmen every day, and went into 2013 thinking starting 5 sophomores that played in the super regional, and like, man, we're gonna have a great season. It was the worst season that I ever had there. So you got to play well, man, and every season's unto itself. And but I do feel good for the most part, about the way we've pitched. Feel really good about the way we've caught the baseball, both behind the plate and in the infield. So I think the offense is still something I'm really confident in.
You mentioned Portland being a kind of a veteran squad. What are your kind of general impressions of them?
Yeah, just the video I've watched. Super impressive group of players. Definitely play a West Coast brand of baseball. They're going to make you handle the ball. They have some pitchers on the mound that have a really good feel for the baseball, throw multiple pitches for strikes, mostly right-handed. So I thought that Seattle had a new pitching coach who pitched in the major leagues, and I thought he did all of their pitchers for Seattle all the guys that we watched on video were better this year than they were last year, and he had a significant impact on that. And so everything we've seen so far from Portland, it's a West Coast Conference team, I believe, that is very well coached, and we better play well to win.
What did you see out of your 3 weekend starters of this past weekend, and how confident are you in them going forward and keeping those 3 for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I thought Detmer was great. I thought Wanseen was able to knock the edge off of his experience or lack thereof pitching at this level. He's supposedly made an adjustment this week in the bullpen with Coach Yeski that may allow him to throw more strikes, be more consistent in the strike zone. Thought he had a really good breaking ball going. He punched out 7, but he also gave up some free bases, and so he's got to clean that up. And I had a conversation with Chris Cortez. Sunday was actually the best he's ever pitched in his entire life when you look at being a real pitcher. So he said, yeah, in high school I never threw an off-speed pitch for a strike, never had to. Last year he was throwing a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball, not very often for strikes. And the other day, it's not where it's going to be, but it is the best he's ever been. So how is that not a bright spot for the Texas Aggies, right? So he threw a high-velocity breaking ball for strikes. He threw it in the zone, then out of the zone when he wanted to. He threw change-ups on, and so I thought it was a massive step forward for Cortez.
If Cortez, game 1 is throwing the best he's ever thrown, where do you feel like he can go?
We have him we have 2 sophomores in the rotation, which I love. It's kind of like Detmer last year. If you can get Wanseen and Cortez really good experience and obviously success this year, then you go into next year with 2 proven commodities. Now they're a long way from that, but they're getting closer, and that's really hard to find in college baseball, to have a junior who's been in your rotation. And what somebody told me, Detmer is like the first guy to start back-to-back opening days at A&M in a really long time, and that's the norm in college baseball, because normally your Friday night guys is an upperclassman that you're going to lose. So if we can get those 2 sophomores among the other guys going, then that bodes well for this year and next year.
Bad thing to see how this team kind of responds to a little bit of adversity early on?
I prefer to win them all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think guys felt even into Sunday, you could see it. When you have a group of guys like this that are, I'm telling you, they're amazing kids and they want to do so well, and I'm on them all the time about being excellent and committed, to being their best, then sometimes you can over-try. And I think we have some of that going on, and there's no one's panicked. I'm not screaming and yelling at them. I didn't have a conversation with them after the game on Tuesday because there was nothing to talk about. I didn't have a problem with their attitude or their effort. We talked yesterday about the areas of the game that can be better once we remove the emotion of losing. But we'll see. It will be interesting to see how we respond, more so from an offensive standpoint, and using the whole entire field to hit, and just putting together good at-bats and not worrying so much about, getting a hit. Getting a hit is the result of putting together a good at-bat and putting your swing on a good pitch. All good?